when I was doing this, I didn't have an auto dialer. So from 5 to like 9 every day, I was at my office in Gulf Shores where nobody was there. Lights were off. People were partying at a bar across the street. What was I doing? Looking at them through the window, typing on my computer, looking for numbers to call the next day, one at a time. I was copying and pasting addresses in Bigfoot.com, White Pages, Google. And I was just like searching for people's phone numbers. It didn't stop me from like taking action and reaching out and getting information to people. I just found a way to make it happen with what I had. Put a plan in place and start tomorrow, and start small. Do 10 letters a day. 10, right? Do 20, do 15, do 30. Start small. If it's overwhelming, start small. The data doesn't lie. The market doesn't lie. You paint this new picture. This is where we thought it was. This is where we figured it was a good price. This is what needs to be said. Like, not, it's priced right. I don't know why I didn't sell it. It needs to be like, we thought it was priced right. Okay, I want to go back through the 30 days and just touch on it briefly because, hey, you can go back and watch the replay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I want to talk about the market, what I'm seeing in the market, where massive opportunity is right this second. The whole reason why I wanted to do the 30 listing challenge right now. I also want to get into weekly email, touch on that because I didn't talk about it in the first 30 listing challenge situation, and then maybe give you guys a couple of nuggets. Okay. And then I want to do Q&A. So if you have questions you want to unmute and ask, just write those down and hang on to them to, give me 30 minutes to go through this training or so. And then we'll get into some Q&A. All right. But first thing I want to do is scroll back up. There's so many comments and stuff. Post in the chat right now how many listings you've taken since we started the challenge, because I want to hear from some of you guys. 9 appointments since the challenge. Okay, so here's a good example. JC, that he says letters 0, for sale by owners 0, listings 0, expireds 5. Okay, that's good. Sounds like, okay, before I go crazy, all right, on everybody, I want you to know something. If you watch the 30-day first training, right, and you saw me say, oh, go do 1,000 letters, in the next month, and over the next 90 days, you're going to get, 10 listings out of this. It seems overwhelming. You're going to call expireds, old expireds, and you're going to find 20 people that want to relist, sometime soon. Do Shane's strategy on the for sale. It just seems a little overwhelming, right? Okay. So this call, I want to bring it down a notch and tell you that, okay, if you haven't went out and wrote any letters, even though I'm telling you that you're going to get sellers to call you whenever you write this letter, I've had messages from agents since we did the challenge that have DM'd me that said, I got a listing off the first batch of letters I sent out, a signed listing agreement. There's people that posted in the Facebook group about people calling them and going on listing appointments and stuff off the letter. If you haven't done any letters, I just want to tell you before you hear me be real hard on people, that it's totally fine. It's okay that you haven't done any letters. All right. Here's the problem though. If you didn't do it the first time, and now we're here, and now you're not going to do any between now and the next training session, there's got to be a point where I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? I'm giving you like a clear plan to have communication with sellers, and you don't have to cold call them. They're going to call you, because people are like, well, I don't want to cold call. Okay, write letters. They'll call you. I'm giving you an out here. I'm giving you another option besides calling people. All right. But it is okay if you haven't wrote any yet. I say that to say this: start tomorrow, do 20 a day. It's real simple. All right, let me cover this. Right? I'm only going to get into the letter part because I see a lot of people that haven't even written the first letter. That's like, what are we doing? We're going to get 10 letters out of this, and all I'm telling you is to do this, and you do 1,000 of these letters. If you chop that out, that's like, what is that? If you did 50 a day, what does it come out to be? 20 divided 1,000 divided by 20. What the hell is that?
You need like 100 a week. That's all you need.
50 letters 50 letters a day, 5 days a week is 1,000 in a month, 20 working days. And you're right, Scott. Like, do 20. When I was doing, when I was doing this, I didn't have an auto dialer. So from 5 to like 9 every day, I was at my office in Gulf Shores where nobody was there. Lights were off. People were partying at a bar across the street. What was I doing? Looking at them through the window, typing on my computer, looking for numbers to call the next day, one at a time. I was copying and pasting addresses in Bigfoot.com, White Pages, Google. I was just like searching for people's phone numbers. And I would spend like 2 or 3 hours to research 100 people. So I had 100 people to call the next day. I would come in the next day from 9 to 3. I would hand dial 100 numbers. That's how long it takes, by the way. Anybody that tells you they hand dialed 100 numbers in a couple hours, they're lying. They're lying through their teeth. I've done it so many times. I can tell you how long it takes from 9 to 3. And that's like getting after it one after another. And then at 3, I would do some follow-up work. And then I would finish the day writing 20 of these handwritten letters every day. I did 20 a day. That was my goal. I would look up another 100 numbers after work, do the whole thing over again. That was my routine. You can literally find thousands of great quality phone numbers, snap of a finger, auto dial them, and go through 100. You can find and call 100 in an hour and a half, where it took me 15 hours. It's nuts how much more you can do than what I got done back in the day. So take advantage of this, please. Take advantage of this, please, and make your calls, which used to take me all day, and then, write 10, 20, 30 letters. Do it every day. All right. The letter, super simple. You're going to have some nicely printed letterhead. Don't get too like, so many people are messaging me like about the letterhead. It's like, write the letter. If you don't have a letterhead, write it on with no letterhead. I don't care. I don't have a business card. I don't really care. Put your phone number under your signature. When I started, I had no website, no business cards. None. No website, no business cards. I was making links off of MLS to put in my weekly email. It didn't stop me from like taking action and reaching out and getting information to people. I just found a way to make it happen with what I had. We're going to handwrite. We're going to say, dear Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, whoever they are. If it's an LLC, don't put anybody. Don't even put dear whoever. Just go right into the question. Don't overcomplicate this. But we're going to handwrite the letter, the question. We're going to handwrite the envelope. We're going to handwrite the return address. We're going to handwrite the return address and where it's going. And we're going to say one simple, and a lot of you are complicating this. You're adding stuff to it. You're saying, would you consider selling your home at wherever to a prospect of mine? And then you're doing another sentence. Would you take a cash offer? I have a really serious buyer. Don't do any of that. Just do this. Because when you start to do that other stuff, it makes it seem not so personable. And it makes it feel like maybe they're doing this across a lot of people, not just me. But when you do it like this, it kind of feels like they wrote a letter just to me about my house. Just to me about my house, and now I'm intrigued. Okay. You don't have to do all this stuff. If they see this and it intrigues them, they're going to reach out. They're going to call, they're going to email, they're going to text, they're going to do something. And you're going to say sincerely and sign your name. Throw a business card in there, handwrite the envelope, and get it out the door. Now, what do you do when they call? Let's go through that real quickly. The goal is 1,000 of these. Get them out the door. Okay. And you're going to call these people. You send 1,000 out. You're going to find them on RedX. You're going to call them too. Give it a week and then call them. All right. Hey, I sent the letter. Did you get my letter I sent you? I've got a buyer. The process, when they call you, the first thing they're going to say is, do you really have a buyer? You're going to say, yeah, because you do. Because guess what? We're doing this, guys, just for buyers that we have that we can't find inventory for. Remember that. I don't have a buyer. I went through this on the original call, and I've had people talk about this since the call and messaging me and stuff. And I'm like, watch the call. yes, you do have a buyer. Think about it for more than 2 seconds, okay? Don't just say I don't have a buyer. Think about it for more than 2 seconds. If you're a real estate agent, okay, and you don't have anybody, there's plenty of people that want to buy stuff, and you don't have any of those people that you're trying to find stuff for. What are you? Are you really a realtor? Are you really a real estate agent? I mean, just go through your phone and call every single person and say, "Hey, if I found a really good deal on something, would you be interested?" Great. What kind of stuff do you like? Bam, you got a buyer. Circle prospect neighborhoods. See if there's something you could do to help them buying and selling. And if not, let me ask you this before you go. If I had a really great deal on a rental property, would you be interested? Say that for every call. Every single call, end it with that. Even if the call went bad. Before I let you go, if I had a really good deal on a rental property, would you be interested? Stack that investor list, because guess what? The only people buying right now are people that need to and investors. That's it. Nobody that wants to. When they call, we're going to say, because we do have a buyer, they're going to say, do you really got a buyer? Yep, we do. Do you really want to sell? Because if so, I need to know why. You're going to say it like that, of course, but you're going to say, okay, what's got you guys thinking about selling then? If I'm a buyer moved forward and gave you an offer that was acceptable, are you guys moving, or why would you sell? And kind of understand their backstory and dig a little deeper. Okay. Once you know that, that's all in the first phone call. That's all in the first phone call. Now we got to see the property to price it. They might say, just bring us a buyer, or we'll take this price. It's like, okay, cool. Let me come take a look and see if that lines up with what I believe I can get for it. I have to see the property before I submit to a buyer. I can't just, and if they're not willing to let me come look at the property, that's when you know right then and there. That's when you know right then and there that they're not serious. Okay. If they're not going to let you come look at the property, then what else we got to talk about? Can't sell something I can't see. If they are serious, or even a little serious, they're going to allow you to come see the property, whether it's their second home, investment, primary, whatever. But we're never going to present a property to a buyer without an agreed on asking price and commission rate, even if it's a situation where you don't see the property, because that'll happen, where you do present a property to a buyer that you hadn't seen. It'll happen here and there, certain situations. But even in those situations, we've got to identify with the seller what the commission rate's going to be on what asking price. They may say 400, you send to the buyer, and they come back and say, I'll take it for 400. And the seller says, well, I actually want a net 400. But when they verbally tell you, okay, we're going to sell for 400 and pay you 5%, you've got something. Now you can present that to the buyer, because you know your commission is baked in. All right. You're going to set the expectations that your buyer may or may not move forward, right? We're not going to sell them the dream that, their buyer's going to love this, probably make an offer and all that stuff. Because let's face it, the chances are is they're not going to move forward. They're not going to make an offer. That the actual possibility is really low that they're going to buy that property. There's a chance, and there could be a good chance, especially in today's market. There's lower inventory, etc. But it's not that great of a chance. I mean, that's the exact property that they want, that they love, that they got to have. It happens, and you're going to sell some properties this way. But more often than not, this is going to get your foot in the door to list the property. Okay. Present it to the buyers, get the feedback, go back to the seller and tell the seller, hey, they want to come look at it. Oh, they like the pictures I took with my phone. They're interested. They want to come take a look. Or they decided on another house. They made an offer on another house, down the road. And if the buyers go a different direction, what do? Now we've got the relationship. They want to move forward on marketing the property now or later. Later, by the way, guys, later is great. The more people you can meet that want to do stuff later, the better you're going to be. My buddy, Brandon Morenin, he did a video today that I thought was actually fantastic. It was about how to sell 100 properties. And it was really cool how he laid it out. And it was basically just in a nutshell, what it was is he laid out the numbers there on like conversion and stuff. And it was like each year. And like, so year one, let's say you get, 1,000 lead, you talk to 1,000 people and get them in your database, and you probably convert whatever, and you sell 14 properties. The next year you get 1,000 leads. Okay. Maybe you sell 14 properties off that 1,000, maybe a little more, because you're getting better and your conversion rate's getting better. But you got to add in the 1,000 from last year that you've already talked to, that bleed over into this year, that do business this year, and add to that 18 that you sell off the new 1,000 people. Okay. And then year three, you get another 1,000 people, right? But you're also piggybacking off the compounding, relationships of the 1,000 from year 2 and the 1,000 of year 1. Okay. And then year 4 was the year that he had that you sold over 100 properties and did $1 million in GCI. It's the compounding effect of those clients. We're not going to go out there and make $1 million year 1 from just cold leads. It's all the leads that you've talked to over the years that compound and snowball into this massive business. So, when you're talking to these people and they call you on the letter, and it ends up that they don't move forward, please let me tell you that that is great, because if you can maintain that relationship for the future, guess what? There's a good chance that you're going to be the person, because they're going to see how you operated during this deal. Okay. I really want to drive this home. The way that you operate through this letter situation, with them calling you and you being very prompt with either calling them back or answering the phone, and then you setting an appointment, showing up on time and doing everything you said you were going to do. The buyer wants to see it. You show up with the buyer and they're like, wow, this person really has buyers. All that stuff is telling them this is the best agent around. Maybe I'm not 100% sold or serious to sell today, but when we do, guess who we're going to call? Now, what we got to do is a great job on the back end, okay, of staying in touch with people and building the brand on the back end and making sure nobody ever forgets who we are. So I want to get into that today with the weekly email thing. All right. So I want to touch on that. Let's see what else I wanted to get into before. All right. So for the people just joining, let me grab this link for you so that you've got this. It's going to be in the chat right now. Grab it before it gets buried in comments. And I'm going to dress this up and I'm going to send it out. I'm going to add a lot more like step-by-step information, and I'm going to send it all out Sunday. So make sure you're on my text or my email group so that you're getting all the information. Okay, let's see. Post all your results daily in the Facebook group and go there to collaborate with each other. All right. And that link is there. Let's see, weekly email. Cool. Another thing, a lot of you have been reaching out, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. All right. This is just kind of like a personal thing from me to just this small little group of, people that have been following me for a while and know like the depths of the free coaching thing. I'm getting so many people reaching out that want one-on-one, me sitting down, dissecting their business, helping them come up with a customized plan around them and their goals and what they have going on. Obviously, I can't do those for free, right? Like a 2 hour, like I was thinking about doing something like calling it like double your business in 2 hours, because that's what would happen. I can literally restructure, rewire your entire business and help you move in a totally different direction. Is that something that you guys would pay for?
Yeah.
I was thinking like $3,900 or something, like 2 hours to double your business, restructure your business, and like a consulting session, right? Um, you know, I pride myself on the free thing, which, I'm not selling you guys anything today. I didn't do it on the 30-day thing, but I'm thinking about doing something like this just to bring value, because there's no freaking way that I could do something like that with everything I have going on. Anyway, okay. I see all the comments. That's cool. I'm going to do something like that pretty soon that you guys could do. Maybe I could do like one a day or something. But I feel like one-on-one, where I can really dissect your business, conversion, marketing, lead gen, goals, routine, everything. And I can look at it, I can see where the inefficiencies are and can help you restructure and really clean everything up. So, all right, cool. Sweet. All right. Let's see. Okay, before I get into weekly email, because I know a lot of you have a lot of stuff on your mind, let me do 2 questions. Put your hand up on the Zoom. Go ahead. Is it? Well, they were here and gone. Olivia,
Hi, Ricky. Thank you so much for this. This is pretty exciting stuff. I appreciate everything you do for so many of us realtors. I do have a question in reference to the FISBOs, and I think you might have answered it earlier. I'm only calling like FISBO like the first 30 days. Did I hear you say that, excuse me, FISBOs that have been on the market for 30 days? Because after that, they probably already sold. But are you saying go ahead and call them just like expired when we go back 10 years? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't you call them?
Well, I guess for me, just trying to be a better steward of my time, because a lot of them I talk to say they've already sold.
Right.
So
But
I
then
guess
where do you go with the conversation from there?
congratulations. I don't
And
know.
then you just hang
I
up
mean,
and
if
you're
they've
gone?
sold in the last 90 days,
Uh-huh. What
either,
if they want to buy rental property right now? What if their sister wants to relocate right next to them? What if they don't like the house and they actually decide to move in 6 months again?
okay, I hadn't thought of it like that. That makes sense.
See, what you have to realize is that every single person is such an important lead. It's not even funny.
Okay.
You're looking at it like a transaction. You're looking at it like you're looking at it from um the property, right? They already sold the property, so oh well, no opportunity here. Let's move on. And I don't even care about the property. I don't care about the listing. I don't care about them being a buyer. None of that.
Understood.
What I care about is using that property as an excuse to see if I can connect with them, get to know them a little bit, to see if I can create a relationship for the future. They're gonna sell that property within the next 10 years. Don't you want to be their agent when they do?
Yes.
Are you still going to
Okay.
be are you still going to be an agent? Like over the next decade, you still going to be in real estate?
Absolutely. I guess I just think about the conversations that I do have with some of them that say they already sold, and I do take it to the next level and ask them, oh, okay, did you stay in the area? Did you move out of the area? And so I do kind of dive in a little bit more, but I've gotten some feedback over, I've been, doing this probably for about 3 years now for sale by owners are my niche. So a lot of them say, well, we do have an agent that we're really happy with. And I try to use your pitch, great, if anything was to ever happen, is it okay if I stay in touch? So I guess I do it that way, but I
Yeah.
guess I'm feeling with trying to call the expired 3 hours at least 2 or 3 times a week and calling the for sale by owners and getting the letters out. I just feel like it's, I'm spending more time just leaving those voicemails with the dialer. But if you feel like that, it's probably worth it, going back 60 or 90 days, I guess I could find the extra time
Well,
to
how
do
many
that.
are what are you on Red X and you have them piled
Yeah,
up?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I call them at least, I call Pistos at
Well,
least
okay.
3 times.
I mean, listen, you know, I can't say like that's your call, right? If you kind of feel like that's a dead end after you went back like 60, 90, 120 days or whatever, and you feel like there's lower hanging fruit somewhere else, by all means, girl,
Okay.
by all means, move right on over to what you think is the lower hanging fruit. Don't keep beating
Right.
a dead horse if you're not feeling it. 100%.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Charla.
Hey Ricky, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm wondering if I'm not leaving money on the table here.
Okay.
Um, I hear you like when we talk to these sellers, whether it's by our letter or a FISBO, you're coming at them. Yes, I have a buyer,
Yep.
but you're asking to be paid as a listing agent and a buyer's agent.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
and I've not done that.
Okay.
So what does that look like on paper?
It looks like as on paper. I mean, on paper, you're the
Well,
listing
like
agent.
I know, but you haven't formally put it on the market. You're calling and you're trying to make this deal. Do you then just do up a listing and
Yeah. So when you
an
do the
offer?
deal, yeah, absolutely. So when the buyer makes the offer, you're going to present the paperwork and the offer with the offer. Okay.
Okay.
So all just say all this is verbal up to this point. Okay. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. Listen, I've had people where I show up and they list the property right there. I'm showing up to like see what, like, guys, don't think that you can't list the property. Let me mute everybody. You can unmute, Charla. Don't think that you're not going to go there and list the property, because there will be times where they're just ready to go and they like you and they're ready to list. So don't talk yourself out of it. Don't walk in assuming you're not going to get a listing. Okay, guys, walk in there thinking you might get a listing today, even if it's just the you know, the little preview or whatever. You don't know how this is going to fall. Every time I go look at a property, right, with a seller, I've got a blank listing agreement ready to sign. You know, if they decide they want to do something, I'm filling it out right then and there and getting their signature. I'm not going back to the office and doing electronic signatures. I'm gonna get their signature right then if they're saying they're ready to sign.
Okay.
I've got comps with me. Of course, we're going to be trying to price the property and figure in commission and all that and figure out how we're going to present it to. I mean, at that point, you know, I don't know what state you're in or if they allow dual agency or, you know, it depends
Yeah.
on how agency is, what the agency laws are where you are, right? So
I'm in
that
Louisiana. They allow dual agency.
okay. So in Alabama they do too. So I can represent, you know, both sides, and it can be a little tricky
I guess
sometimes.
I've just left that money on the table. I never.
Well, you could,
changed
because
that.
you walk. Are you telling me because you walk in and you're just like, I'll just take 3% because I've got the
Right.
buyer?
Right.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You because you're setting them up for, if this buyer doesn't buy, which is the highest likely scenario,
To put it on
you've
the
already
market.
got it. You've already got it baked in to go to the market at the commission rate that is going to happen. You're going to negotiate every time. You may say that this, you know, like on this one, you know, like you normally get 6%, right? Since I will be doing this one, right, where I've got the buyer and everything, I could do it for 5,
Right.
right? If I go to market and if we list it, I'll stay at the 5 for you. If this buyer doesn't, I'll stay at that 5. Like, you can lay it out however you want to make it attractive enough to the seller, right? You can say, if I represent both sides, I'll get 4. If we go to the market, you know, it's going to be 5. We can bump the price up a little bit to compensate for that. There's a lot of different things you can do to play with the numbers, but you definitely don't need to walk into it saying, I'll take 3.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
Cool. Here's a link to the PDF that has all the links on it. RADX links, replay links, everything right there. So grab it. All right, let's see. Where was I going to go with this? Okay, put in the comments right now if you guys are getting a lot of value out of this call. The purpose of it was I really wanted to hold you guys accountable, okay? And I wanted to tell you that if you haven't lived up to the standard of grind that we said in the first call, I just wanted to tell you it's okay. Put a plan in place and start tomorrow, and start small. Do 10 letters a day. 10, right? Do 20, do 15, do 30. Start small. If it's overwhelming, start small. You know, making your calls. Call for an hour. Start out calling for an hour. You know, try make a goal to talk to 5 people. You know, it's better than 0. If it's overwhelming, okay, start smaller. It's okay. Nobody's mad at you if you haven't done it, and you shouldn't be mad at yourself. But what we've got to do is we have to figure out, if it is overwhelming you, okay, how do we step into actually executing? And if it's dialing back the daily goals to a point where we can manage those better, then that's what we need to do, guys. You guys have no idea how bad I want to see you crush 2024. And that's why I'm doing these calls, because right now is the moment. Let me dive into that real quickly. Check this. All right. So, well, number one, we got this, right? We got the odds for another Fed rate coming up. Okay. This is increased since the job report was so good. The September jobs report was stronger than expected. Okay. So the odds of a November rate hike went up from 20% to 24. Okay. But the odds that we're at least going to have one more this year, either November or December, went from 33 to 46. This is Barron's. Okay. What does that mean? Nothing to us. It's odds. It's still under 50%, but it's increased because the jobs number was stronger than expected. And honestly, real estate, that those shelter costs in the CPI report, the inflation reports, shelter is like crushing, it's still crushing it, even though it slowed down quite a bit. All right. So we still have this going on. Now, did you guys see the letter that NAR and MBA and let's see, NAR letter to Fed? Did you guys see this letter that NAR sent out to Broke Agent did a good job of this. They sent this letter out to the Fed. This was from the MBA, Mortgage Bankers Association, NAHB, the National Association of Home Builders, and the National Association of Realtors. And what they said is, we don't care if you go up anymore, basically is what they were saying. What they were saying is that we need certainty. The uncertainty, listen to this, guys, the uncertainty of what the Fed is going to do. Okay. Let's see, where is it? The uncertainty of what the Fed's going to do. There's this gap between the 10-year Treasury and the 30-year fixed. You guys know about this? Okay, the 30-year fixed follows the 10-year Treasury pretty closely, which has a lot to do with mortgage-backed securities and all that stuff. But layman's terms, it follows the 10-year Treasury pretty well. There's a 3-point spread between the 10-year Treasury and 30-year fixed. It's normally 1.5% to 2%. Okay, and what they're saying is this, and the reason why it's there is because nobody knows what the Fed's going to do. They don't even know what they're going to do, and it's because they're still trying to figure out what inflation is doing. So since the uncertainty's there, there's this spread because the people doing let's see what happened here. Well, I don't know what that was. The people that do mortgages, they're like, we don't know what's going on, so we have to have this spread because we want to be protected. So what they were saying in this letter is if you go up another time, great, but please tell us that we're done with whatever we do. Because that's going to, the moment the Fed says we're done going up, for sure, we might stay here for a while, but we're done going up. As soon as that happens, that spread between the 10-year and the 30-year is going to drop, and we're going to get like a point off the 30-year fixed really quickly when we have certainty of what the Fed's going to do. They may not start cutting till mid-year next year, but we could get relief as soon as we know that they're not going to raise it anymore. And I find that super interesting. They had two demands. They said, don't contemplate further rate hikes, basically saying, hey, don't contemplate, don't think about, either do it or don't do it, but tell us. And don't sell off any MBSs, mortgage-backed securities, unless the housing finance market is stabilized and the mortgage to Treasury spreads, what we were just talking about, normalized. All right. So all that's just very interesting. And it's just good to kind of know on the back end, kind of what's happening there. Now, when we look at this, I don't know if you guys realize this or watched my video from yesterday, new listings. All right. We were at like 26% down from last year, and now we're just 3.9% down from last year. We are catching up to last year, which isn't monumental, by the way. Last year was super low. All right. But it being 3% is better than being 25%. So what I'm saying is, and I want to show you one more data point. What I'm saying is that new listings are ticking up right now. You have to go out there and take action to get listings. New listings are happening. Letters, phone calls, videos, days on the market. This is interesting to look at, right? This is national, of course. Go in and look at your local markets. Look at what days on the market do every year. They start out coming up because things are slower in January. Then they start coming down because things start to pick up, right? They kind of trickle up because we get that big spring rush, and then it kind of levels out. Things are still selling pretty good, but then it starts to come down. And we're kind of in that place right now. Like, see these dips? Like, we're getting into this dip area right here with days on the market. We need listings, guys. You get listings, it's going to sell. Price your listings right. If your listings aren't selling, it's because they're not priced right. Let's see, what else was I going to show you guys? Homes sold nationally, we're still well below where we were, but we are right in the game, never going to zero. Where are we at on prices? right here, well above last year. It's actually ticking up a little bit right there. Definitely going to end the year positive from last year. After all the media, the market's going to crash. We were positive last year. We're going to be positive this year. Not even negative on the year, guys. All right. So we got a lot to look forward to next year. 2024 is going to be so. I put it on a post. I feel this overwhelming sensation that things are about to explode. There's so much pent up demand. How many of you have a buyer that's waiting on prices to go down? Everybody. How many of you have buyers that want to buy but can't find what they want? They want to buy. They're even qualified. They're ready to buy. Can't find what they want. Okay. How many of you know sellers that are like, I would sell, but that want to sell, that would sell, but I mean, it's ridiculous. This is more than we have, and we don't even know. We don't even know the half of it because of the amount of first-time home buyers that are sitting there that we didn't have 2 years ago. It's about to get wild. I also, just a side note, and I want to talk about the weekly email. I'm kind of scared for like this whole renter nation thing. And like one day we'll wake up and investors own all the houses in America. I think that's going to happen because I don't see prices going down. I see interest rates coming down. But if the average monthly payment is $2,500 and that's like really high, whatever it is, 2,800 or whatever it is right now, and it's really high, a lot of people can't afford that. All right. If interest rates come down, okay, think about this. If we're there and prices haven't cracked, okay, then why do you think interest rates coming down is going to really affect that? Because what's going to happen is interest rates are going to come down. It's going to reduce that monthly payment, but then prices are just going to jump right back up to compensate for that mortgage rate down because the market has already told us, hey, we can sustain these prices at 2,800 or whatever the monthly payment is, right? And then I just don't see prices going down. Definitely because of the inventory situation. So what's scary is that are we just going to continue to price out people in the country? And then what are they going to do? They're going to go rent because they can't afford to buy. They don't have 100,000 to put down and they can't afford 4,000 a month mortgage payments. All right. Another reason why you should be trying to build that list of investors because they're going to be the ones doing it. They're going to be the ones doing all the buying. All right. Weekly email. All right. So put in the chat if you're doing the weekly email and if you're having any success with it. Is there a best day of the week you find? I like Wednesday. Monica's on her third week, great open rate, 6 straight weeks, 4,000 contacts, week 2. Wow, you guys are just starting. Let's see, every week use HomeBot. The whole you will own nothing and be happy thing. Yeah, that's for the people that kind of like, it's not for me. I'm going to be the one owning everything. And you guys should be too. You should be buying as many rental properties as you can. All right. So if you guys that see this, you go here, you'll select your company. If you put a company here, and then you've got these 4-week templates right here. Week 1 is stats of the month. Week 2 is restaurant of the month. Week 3 is deal of the month. Week 4 is news of the month. I'll open this one up just to show you what it's talking about. And then move over to some Q&A. All right. So yeah, you just change all your stuff here. Bada bing, bada boom. You put your logo, your name, and all that there. Dress it up how you want. You get rid of this yellow. This yellow is just to train you on how to do this. You know what you should put in the subject. Like read all this. It's important stuff. I put this here. I typed all this here for you for a reason. Okay. Your tagline. Always put a nice picture here. You guys see you guys see my emails. Let me go to this week's email so you guys can just see what I did this past. So if you go here, you can see all my emails. Mute you guys, man. You guys are wild. All right. You can see all my emails going back to last November, almost a full year of my emails right here. Let's see. This one I did about the Shrimp Fest. I grabbed this nice little picture. Talked about going there when I was 9 years old, you know, link to get information about it. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. So anyway, this is stats of the month. So I've got just put your average price here and then elaborate on it. Give your opinion. Number of transactions, opinion. Number of new listings, opinion. Give a link to the new listings, right? So I've kind of got this all set up for you where it's just really simple. You don't have to think. You can just do stats of the month in your market 1 week, restaurant of the month, reply back to win a $50 gift card, get into like back and forth with everybody. What link's
Ricky,
not
the link
working?
is not working.
What link? What link?
For
The link
constant
to the
contact.
constant contact.
Constant contact. Let's see what it do, pimping. Oh, I misspelled it.
No.
Here.
At all.
Okay.
Ricky, if you click the link off of your
Yeah, it
your
works,
sheet,
right?
it works fine.
Let me I'm going to put this link here right there. All right. So check this out.
Link works too.
Check this out. If you want a little more freebie stuff. If you go to that link and you just go right here. Let's see, where's this go? Okay. Yep. This is where they're going to actually build out your thing for you. But I've got an ebook right here that I wrote a couple years ago, how I make $1 million every year using real estate. I mean, in real estate using email. I wrote this, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. You can even see how old it is right here. Let's see. YouTube, that was when I had 50,000 YouTube subscribers. Now I got 100. But yeah, that's right there on that link. It's pretty good stuff. Cool. Trying to think if there's anything else before we get into Q&A. Oh, Miami. I'm going to be in Miami next week. ZeroToDiamond.com/events. Free event. Totally free. Me and a couple other speakers. Really good event. If you're going to be in Miami, would love to see you. Okay. I'm going to finish with this and then put your hand up now if you have questions. Then we'll start rolling through the questions. I wanted to drive this home for you. You know how a lot of people say millionaires have 7 sources of income. Okay. Well, they didn't become millionaires with 7 sources of income. Okay. They became millionaire with 1 source, right? Every single one of them, they focused on one thing and they fully committed and blocked everything else out until they mastered this and crushed it and made millions of dollars with this one thing. Okay. For me, it was being a real estate agent. Some people did insurance, some people did social media, some people did restaurant, whatever your thing is. For me, it was being a real estate agent. I blocked out everything. I didn't have a social media account. I didn't know the stock market crashed in 2008. Like I didn't care about other ways to build your business. I was focused on postcards, phone calls, and emails. And I did it until I made $1 million. And then, right, after people become millionaires from the one thing, then they diversify into 7 different sources of income. Now I have 7 sources of income. Okay. But in the beginning, it was 1. It was being a real estate agent. You've got, guys, the amount of focus and determination and just sheer grit that you have to do something special in this business is unprecedented. It's more than you even think. And if you've got one little thing throwing you off, where you're thinking about maybe doing this or this other business or something, it's going to screw you up. It's going to steal that whole dream of doing something really big right away from you. You guys have to really go all in and focus, man. And even goes for your business. You can't crush it if you have 8 different lead gen activities. You got to have 1, 2, maybe 3. The third one's kind of on the side. You got to really focus in on just like a couple of things that are just working really well for you. Maybe you think maybe this letter thing blows up for you. You're like, I'm just going to send out thousands of letters and just crush it. Maybe expireds. Maybe after this, you're like expireds. But it was like I said in the first 30-day challenge, the first 30-day listing challenge, that whatever you were doing before, stop doing all that and just do this for 90 days for me. 1,000 letters, expires for sale by owners. Even if you don't like it, just do it. Get the 30 listings and then go back to what you were doing later. The reason being is because if you're doing all these other things, this isn't going to work. And people are putting in the comments that they've done 0 letters. When I'm like laying out this simple letter that you're going to get calls from and do business from, and you haven't done any. Why? Because you're busy doing all this other stuff that isn't working that great. All right, cool. Let's get into some Q&A. Tanya. Oh, Tanya, before you go, there was a question. Carol, if you already have Constant Contact and you didn't go through my link, email me. Email me Ricky_Caruth at Yahoo. And I'll tell them to
Hold on.
yeah. I'll tell them to put you under my account so that you can have access to the templates. All right. All right, go ahead, Tanya.
Okay, can you hear me now? Thank you for giving us the clarity that you have through this this challenge. I really appreciate it. I've been writing my notes, but I did change my dialogue a little bit on it, and that was that I just took off for prospectifying. I'm not adding anything to it. I just took that off because honestly, I don't think I could handle it as well as you seem to, without having a specific person in mind for that particular neighborhood.
I have a specific person in mind. And you should as well. Don't send the letter if you don't have a person in mind.
You don't. Okay, but I don't though. That's the I know that you've talked
Tanya,
about.
Tanya, can you just go to Walmart? Can you just go to Walmart and just people are walking out, say, "Oh, we got," act like you dropped something, and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. How you doing today?" Say, "I'm sorry I dropped that in front of you, but hey, listen, while I got you, I'm a real estate agent. You looking for a good agent? Yeah, cool. Hey, would you, if I had a great deal on a rental property, would you be interested?" Like, I don't know. Like, I like Justin's comment. You be the buyer. Do you buy properties? Do you buy properties, Tanya?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have not invested in anything but my home.
I got you. Well, I mean, buyers are a dime a dozen. Like they're everywhere. Like make 10 calls and talk to 2 people, and I guarantee you one of them would love a great deal on something.
Okay,
And
let me. Now, I come from a state that does allow dual agency. I'm in Louisiana as well.
Yep.
But, I'm hearing rumblings that there's a push to disallow dual agency.
I don't care if there's dual agency or not.
Okay.
My job is to connect buyers and sellers. Whatever the legalities are behind me putting that deal together of my buyer who wants to buy this seller's house, I'm going to do it. If I have to get disclosure signed by the seller before I show, if I have to get buyer agency agreement signed before I show, if I have to, whatever I have to do to stay compliant, as to stay legal, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go to my broker and I'm going to say, hey, I've got a buyer. I can't find him anything. I'm going to send a letter to these people and see if they'll sell to my buyer. What should I do to stay compliant so that you don't get in trouble? He's going to say, well, maybe get all this signed before you show anything. And you're going to say, great. And then you know the process. And that's what you're going to do.
I haven't actually been confronted because, like I said, I am from a state that allows dual agency. So I don't really have that to fall back on. I was just.
But you said there's a push to not allow it.
That's correct.
And what I'm saying is I don't care if we have it, if we don't have it, or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. My job, and nothing is going to stop me from doing my job to connect buyers and sellers. I'm very passionate about that. No one's going to stop me from doing my job. My family has to eat, and I want them to eat as much as they want. I don't want to go to a grocery store and say, well, we can't get that today. That's not going to happen. Not on my watch. If I have anything to do with it, if I have an opportunity to go out and do unlimited business as much as I can handle, I'm also going to not let my fears get in the way and say, well, I don't know how they're going to act if I put to my prospect, and it's funny because even if you have a prospect, guys, you don't. Because as soon as you find the plot, you send the letter. It takes a week for the seller to call you. You do the deal. You go look at the property. It takes you 2 weeks to get to the point where they're like, okay, here's the price and commission. By then, your buyer you had bought something else.
Well, I can actually foresee that happening. That's true.
But that's what you tell them. Say, my buyer bought something. I sent the letter out 2 weeks ago, and they've already bought something. So you want to go to market with this, or what can I do to help you from here? I'd like to help you. You don't really want to sell right now? Great. Do you have an agent in the future? Because I'd like to be your person since we kind of have this relationship going.
Okay, let me ask you this. Since it's that important, are you sure that you wouldn't have the same level of interest without saying with my prospect or to my prospect?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think you would because you're just like, will you sell your house? You know, when you say to a prospect of mine, they're like, wow, somebody's ready to make an offer. So I would love to see you open up and be like, I want to find sellers who are looking for people that have prospects. That's the kind of people I want. You know what I mean?
Okay. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Clark.
Good afternoon, Ricky. Thanks for your help on everything here. No, I see you clear. Anyway, yeah, so I've been cold calling a lot. I've gotten one expired listing, and what you said regarding the letter stuck with me early on the Zoom, and so I wanted to know because I want to start tomorrow. And just exploring that option. I've never written letters, but who are we targeting? Is it FSBOs, expireds, farm, or like our farm area? Who?
Did you get the Google sheet that I put in the chat?
Yeah, I did. Is it in
Okay.
there?
Well, just right under where it says your first 10 listings, it's going to say, let me pull it up. It says, okay, it says the first 10 listings, it says buyers that we have already that we can't find inventory for. Okay.
Gotcha.
So my question to you as a real estate agent who sells real estate, and that's your job, do you have a buyer that you can't find inventory for?
Yes.
How many?
Well, I'm fairly newer into real estate, so
Yeah.
I'm working with one buyer right now. I mainly work with sellers.
That's all
So-
you need. One
Yeah.
buyer. So check this out, buddy. One buyer. What's the criteria of the buyer?
They're looking in a couple different particular.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. They're looking in a couple different areas, right? My point is you can canvas so many houses with just one buyer. So
Gotcha.
many, probably 1,000. You could canvas so many properties that fit the criteria of this buyer. And that's what you do. You take your one buyer, you write 1,000 letters for that buyer. You know, by the time have your ear open a little more when you're talking to people, right? Because you say you're talking to sellers. Those sellers are buyers. You just don't know it. Ask them at the end of the conversation. Listen, well, I got you. I know you're thinking about selling, but if I had a great deal on a rental property, would you be interested? See what they say. Oh, yeah. Get the criteria. Boom. More letters.
Mhm.
Right? Now you're sending out letters for an investor. Okay.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Go find the addresses on RedX, like pull up GeoLeads on RedX, pull the addresses and write them from there. And then as you're writing those, send them out, call them about a week later. Hey, did you get my letter? Yeah. My buyer's been asking me. My buyer wants to know if you got my letter yet.
Mhm.
We're very interested. Right. But and by the way, guys, this is how you do commercial. You call apartment complex owners or strip center owners and you ask them what they're interested in, what their buy box is. What do you guys, I see you guys have bought some stuff this year. What do you guys like? Well, I want to get on your radar here, and when deals come across my desk, I want to be able to present them to you. Because chances are they're not going to list that apartment complex with you because the commercial guys are pretty loyal to the agent that brought them the deal, but they're not loyal. They're not loyal on the buy side. If whatever agent brings them a deal, they're going to do business with that agent. Now they might have an agent that they want to represent them no matter who brings them the deal. There's definitely those kind of people, those kind of commercial institutional guys as well. But this is how you work commercial. You do it backwards. You call the owners to see what they like to buy. You get their buy box, and then you call more owners to see if they want to sell based on the buy box. And then you see what they want to buy. And you just build this list of buyers and sellers, and you just continue to build that influence. All right, cool. Jason.
Hey, Ricky. Been doing the weekly email for 5 years now. Haven't missed a Wednesday. But recently I've had quite a few people say that the email has gone into spam.
Yep.
And I'm curious if you scrub any of like the bounced emails or clean up your list at all.
I look at it like social media. And what I mean by that is that when you post something on social, how many people within your following see that post?
Probably 20%.
Way less, but yeah, let's just say 20. It's more like 5, 10, whatever that number is. Now with email, 90% see it in their inbox. Where do those other 10% go? Well, you got some that don't check email enough. And then you got some that go to spam. You're not going to have a system, ladies and gentlemen, that hits 100% of whatever database. You know, when you post something out, it's not going to hit 100% of your followers. When you email something out, it's not going to be 100% of the people get it because of spam or they don't look or whatever. When you do a Discord notification push, when you send out a text message, it's not going to be 100% success rate. And so you combine all these things. That's another reason why I'm telling you guys, make a video every day. Every day, make a video and put it on Instagram and Facebook every day. 30 seconds, 20 seconds. What you're doing today, showing some property. Oh, here's a great listing. I just got through making some calls. Just wonder if you guys need anything. I'm here if you need anything. I'm here in the office grinding. Whatever. Make a video every day. Because the more impressions you can get on your profile, the more impressed your sellers are going to be when you put that number in your listing presentations. That's how you use social media to get business. Does that answer your question, bro? I don't care because I'm chalking it up to what can I do, number one, about it? Nothing. And it's almost like trying to solve the mystery of how do I get 100% of my followers to see my post? Never going to happen. So what you do is you understand that's the game and you play the game.
But if you sent out a weekly email for say 5 years and you go back and you can categorize the people that have never opened the weekly email, say for, the last 2 years, just keep them on it.
Yeah. I don't take anybody off because I don't know that the thing that's interesting is that they see it in their inbox, but they're just not interested in anything right now. But in 5 years they are, and they see it in their inbox. So they appreciate it. They're like, damn, Jason is so consistent. I love this guy. I don't know what he's putting in those emails, but I sure love the fact that he's writing them and sending them to me every Wednesday. And then 4 years later, they're like, shit, I got to buy a house. So they open your email 4 weeks in a row, and then they call you on the 5th. And they're like, hey, remember me? You're like, I think so. They're like, well, we want to buy this house. And you're like, great. That's what happens. So no, don't delete people out of your email just because they're not opening your email, bro. That doesn't mean they're not seeing and appreciating it in their inbox. They're just not interested in real estate right now.
Word. Cool. Thanks.
Makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool, bro. I'm never going to say your name right. Clarissa.
You said it right. It's Clarissa. Hey, Ricky, thank you for doing this. Quick question. For the handwritten letters, are we mailing them out or are we physically delivering them to the properties?
Mail them out. You can just put stamps and they're out the door and you can hit 1,000 of them without walking from door to door. Okay.
Awesome.
Stay in the air conditioning, girl. Shadra, it's social media that takes so much time for me. I feel like a video editor. However, I know it's necessary. Don't edit. Here, I'll do a video right now. You want me to do a video? I'll do a video right now. How long have I been working on it? 20 seconds? What's up, guys? I'm here with about 500-600 agents, just straight getting it, learning how to get 30 listings in the next 90 days. So if you want to do the same, comment below 30 listings so you can join the next training session and let's get it. All right. Next. Oh, I have to write something. I'm going to say, let's get it. Exclamation points. Share. Now, how long did that take?
Let's get it.
Now, how long did that take? It's uploading. It hasn't uploaded yet. We're still on the clock. All right. And we're uploaded. We are live. So was that under 60 seconds? All right. Does that inspire you guys to go out and just make a video? Just do a video a day. It takes 60 seconds. 60 freaking seconds. All right. Is it Maria?
Hi, Ricky. Is it Maria Espinosa?
So like, man, like the editing and stuff, like guys, okay, here's the thing, guys. There's the kind of content you create that takes a lot of time that you do edit. And then there's the type of content that you just make like I just made. Make the kind of content that I just made that's real easy, simple, boom, bam, bam. It's on there. Make that kind of content. Don't make the content that like drives you crazy and takes you hours. Don't do that. Do content like I just made. Do a bunch of that. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Ricky.
Yo.
Thank you so much for all your information. I want to know if does the 0 to diamond replace my CMA, and who are the letters intended to? Is it
CMA, like
expires?
comparative market analysis, like tell them what their home's worth?
Oh, I'm sorry, not the CMA, but is it the CMA?
CRM.
I'm looking. I'm sorry.
CRM?
CRM. No, I was
No.
thinking of a follow-up. Somebody told me to sign up to follow-up us.
Okay. For what?
Needs a CRM.
CRM, thank you.
Yeah. But for what?
A
What are you gonna do
follow-up
with it?
and stay top of mind.
Follow up how?
Maybe monthly letters.
Why don't you just do a weekly email? I just gave you a 4-week month, 4-week, like a monthly template, 4 weeks. You could just rotate it every month.
Okay, so don't purchase the CRM.
I wouldn't. It's
just-
expensive
no?
as hell, number one.
It is.
And what does it do? You spend so much time organizing it, and then you never use the damn thing. I'm going to put a link here. All right. Just sign up here. It's real cheap. You get the 4 weekly templates. You stay in touch with everybody. Done. Simple. Scalable.
Thank you so
Bam.
much.
It's right there. Whoever asked, there's the email templates. Go there and sign up. Justin, go for it. We're getting into the lightning round, guys. The lightning round has begun. Justin, go.
Thanks, Ricky. Hey, just wanted to find out if you could update the link that's on the YouTube video from the replay for the scripts does not work.
The link on the YouTube video from the scripts does not work for the.
It's rcscripts.com. It forwards to a click funnel, and then it has you put in your name and email address, and then it just doesn't do anything.
Let's see.
I really like the scripts you have.
I understand, bro. I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. Hold on.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. RC script. That's crazy because, like, when let me
It
show
forwards
you.
to the click funnel. It just doesn't do anything.
Okay. All right. So here it is, right? You see it?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go. It goes here. Get Ricky scripts. There's my stuff. I submit.
See,
It
mine
says
just
thank, it says
mine never
thank you.
goes to that. Okay.
Okay. Says
I'll
thank
try.
you, and then it says download scripts here. It also emails you the scripts, but I go there and here's the scripts all right here. But
Okay.
let me do this for you. Copy and boom. There it
Thank you
is.
so much. I appreciate that.
Dude, we are in the absolute lightning round. So let's because I want to get to all you guys' questions, but you guys can't tell me stories and stuff and like long drawn out things. You need to just ask a question, okay? So please don't do a long drawn out deal. Just say, here's my question. Boom. Okay. Mason, go.
Hey, Ricky, quick question. Aside from the emails that you do you do anything that services your leads post sale or anything? Is it just the emails afterwards and then they'll call you whenever they need you?
Yeah, exactly. Because the email I'll put in there what I've sold, like, oh, I just sold this or I just sold that. So everybody in my whole database knows what I've just sold or what I just listed and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So everybody in there is keeping up with me and what I've sold, information, the market updates, deals of the month, restaurants, everything else. Right.
Gotcha.
And then everybody ever talked to goes in there. So everybody sees all that. Is that what you mean? Like keeping up with you and just all that?
Yeah. Just maintain the relationship post sale.
Yeah. I mean, like when you do it like that, guess what? You can scale this to the moon. It's very simple.
Right.
You spend 15, 20 minutes a week building it and you could have 500 or 50,000 people. It doesn't matter. You only spend 15, 20 minutes on it and you can scale to the moon and you don't have any complicated like drips or like weird stuff. You know, it's just real clear cut. This is what we're going to get. It's going to be very consistent. They're going to appreciate the consistency of it. They're going to view us as very dependable because it comes out every single week on the same day. And they'll be like, this is my guy.
Right. Nope. Simple enough. I appreciate it.
Candace.
Andre, wake up dad before 6 o'clock. Do you want me to?
Janet, you're gonna have to unmute, my girl.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Ricky, for doing this. You're very generous.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Janet. Candace came to life. We just can't see her.
This
She
is
looks like an
Candace
AC
Hunt. Yes,
vent.
sorry, I didn't know I had a mute. Real quickly,
Go
I
ahead,
missed
Candace.
your last lesson. So is this for sale by owner and what was the other one?
Yeah, it was.
Only?
Yep. Grab this and watch the replay of the 30 listing challenge right here in this link. Grab this link that's right there in the chat right now. Grab it and click on the replay, and and just watch that, and then come to the next training session I do in the next 2 weeks, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Janet, can't hear you whatsoever. Never going to hear you. Olivia, Janet, if you figure out how to unmute it, we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Olivia.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have my hand up. My apologies.
That's okay.
Okay,
Stephanie,
I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted.
go ahead, Janet.
Okay, I'm in San Diego. I have 2 listings. They're from past clients, and I'm swamped. How do you guys do all this? You're
Swamped
calling.
with two. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Swamped with 2 listings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems like I can't get everything done. I can't get the marketing information done, the flyers done. Out to do
Just
the
put on
open house.
MLS. Just put on MLS. Just put on MLS. Go find some more listings. Put more on MLS.
Do you have other people like review your documents? I mean, am I just thinking of like paying my TC? Hey, I got some
Are you
offers
talking
coming
about
in. Let's-
like listing documents and stuff?
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I
I get it.
barely have an hour left over to do all the challenge stuff from my
Janet,
day.
yeah. So TCs cost what? $400 a transaction?
Mm-hmm.
How much are these listings?
Well, 750 and one's at 750 and one's at 540.
Okay, cool. So that's a good 40
Yeah, San
grand.
Diego. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good 30 grand or so right there. You can afford 400 bucks, you can afford $500 or whatever to have a TC to make that 40 grand, right? That way you can buy your time back to go do, other things to
Right.
get more listings.
Right.
There
And
you go.
she's
Boom.
capable. She's super smart, but like just taking
You
a
have
list.
one?
I already have a TC, but she only does the transaction side. What I
Okay.
want to do is use her to review more offers, because in San Diego, you get multiple offers on properties. Then are you hiring somebody else to put the listing in the MLS to talk?
Yes.
Yeah,
My
there's
assistant.
more backstory to hear. Like there's a lot to do. And
I
I'm wondering,
understand.
how are you pulling this all off?
I have an assistant that does all that. I don't do any of that.
Is your assistant a TC or is this a licensed real estate agent? I mean, because I'm going to have to do that. And then, okay, so that's one question.
All the above.
All right,
She's all
fine.
the above.
Yeah. And then do you, oh, I've been waiting for so long now. I'm swamped. Okay.
So you here's the thing. Your brain's getting jumbled up right now, right? So that's what's happening to you throughout the day. You're getting jumbled up with just a couple things. Now, this goes back to what I've always talked about with our size of our cups. Everybody has a different size cup, Janet. Right? At my peak, I was easily handling where it was real fun. I had 20 to 30 listings and 10 to 20 pending deals on top of that. I had 20 to 30 active listings, and I had 10 to 20 pending deals at any given time. This went on for years. And I loved that was where I was like a kid in a playground, because I didn't have to prospect, because I'm just closing deals and I'm just loving life and I'm just showing property, and I had my assistant handle all the back end, and I feel like I'm at Disney. So that was my cup. Some people have 4 pending deals and 2 listings, and their week is shot. They're spending 40 hours a week. So get this, Janet, those 30 listings and those 15 pending deals literally took me, I was spending maybe an hour a day on that. I would take an hour to go through them and see if there's any fires I need to put out. And then I'd spend the rest of my day going to listing appointments or showing properties or, whatever.
So-
right?
I'm good with all that. Love it. Did you
Okay.
already have your listing presentation already made up? Did you just
Janet,
pull some CMA?
I don't do
What
listing
did you,
presentations.
what
Never
did you
did.
do?
Never
Just
will.
grab something from the MLS. Here are the comps. Pleased to
Yes.
meet you.
Yes. Yes. I
Done.
showed up. I printed the comps out of MLS, straight out of MLS on MLS
Yeah.
paper.
I got you. I can do that. That's not
Okay.
a problem. Mhm.
I'm telling you what I did though. I had the comps and I had a blank listing agreement and a nice Ricky Caruth folder and a Ricky Caruth pen with a $20 gift card to a nice restaurant around town. When I left, I gave them the whole package, whether they listed or not. And if they listed, then I gave them the folder and the comps with the gift card, but I took the listing with me that was signed back to the office so I could get to work on it. But that was my listing presentation. I don't have slideshows, PowerPoints, any of that.
Yeah.
What my thought is when I walk into a listing presentation, if this was my mother, would I sit down and go through a PowerPoint with her on this? My answer was no. And so I had to think, well, why am I treating my prospects like they're not family and doing something different than I would my mother? I wanted to treat my prospects like I would my mom, dad, brother, cousin. That's why I never did listing presentations. I walked in like family. I treated them like family. I talked and respected them like family. And that's why I won a lot of listings.
No, I do the same thing, but I do have my resume. I do print out some of my past reviews so they get to know me a little bit better. I feel like I'm applying for the job, so I do it that way. Then I pull the comps, some more information about what I'm going to do to market their property. But I like to have it all ready to go. I like to have like 5, 10 of them all packed up, grab and go type stuff, because all you have to do is the CMA off of, the MLS.
Can you teach a high schooler how to do that?
Yes.
There you go. Find a nice high schooler to do all that stuff while you're doing the things that actually make you a lot of money.
You're focused entirely on the marketing, and then everything else you just like piecemeal out.
The only
to either
marketing I
TC
do,
or to the
yeah,
the calls.
The only marketing I do is phone calls and a weekly email and the letters. That's all I did. You guys should be doing the video, which I just showed you how to do one in under 60
Yeah,
seconds.
I do videos. I'm all over San Diego videos. I have no problem doing videos. I pick up my phone, just go to an open house, go to a showing, meet buyers, 30 seconds, 60. I've done it, but I don't really get, you're not really going to get somebody from that, but you're going to have,
but you use the
you're going to have
impressions.
a body of work where people can look at it and go, who is this person? I saw you. And yeah. I'm
You
fine with
use the
that.
impressions at your listing appointment. Hey, I had 100,000 views last month. I'm gonna put your property on my socials, right? You got some stuff going on, girl.
The back end stuff was really troubling me, and I haven't had a lot of time to do that. Still working on Red-X and a little bit. I'll solve all those problems. That's not on your plate. That's on mine. But I was worried. I'm like, okay, I've got these 2 listings. They're driving me, I've got a whole bunch of demands coming at me from them. And that's why I was thinking there must be somebody else behind the scenes taking care of stuff like that.
You need to have a good assistant for sure. Stephanie, lightning round. Let's go. Let's try to do the lightning round.
Yeah. So do you think it's a bad idea or less effective to make the phone calls to the potential sellers instead of sending the letter?
I mean, like, do both. Like, you're going to have some of them that you won't get on the phone because you got a 10% pickup rate, right? So you got a 10% pickup rate. So you call 100, you talk to 10. If you send those 100 letters out, let's say it gets to 80% of them, right? And let's say, let's say 90. When you get that letter, look, when you get that letter in the mail and it's handwritten return and everything, and it's on like a business size envelope, they're going to open it. So you're going to have a good 80-90% of the people that get it open it. So think about that. If you send out 100, let's say 80% get it, right address, whatever, 89% of those open it. Let's say we're at 70% total. So you got 70% of the people's attention with the letter versus 10% of the people's attention when you call. Okay. So what I'm saying is do both. That's what I'm telling you in this challenge. Get out 1,000 letters and call the 1,000 people. I'm saying to do both. Because let's apply the numbers to the 1,000. Out of the 1,000 in that scenario, 700 are opening the letter Okay. And you're talking to, if you call them, 100 of them. Right. So you're just reaching way more people by doing both. And what's cool is some of the people, some of the 30% or some of the 90% that you couldn't get on the phone got the letter, and some of the 20% that didn't get the letter, you got on the phone. So why not do both?
Yeah, I was just trying to, I guess, be more efficient with my time and just get on the phone versus writing 1,000 letters. But I'll
listen, dude,
I'll get over that and just mail them out.
but Steph, listen to me. Just do 10 a day. I'm telling you, if you're consistent with those letters, you will get calls and you will sell properties and you will create relationships like for next year. It's way, I'm telling you, it is a very good place to spend time. If you can get a high schooler to write them for you, great. You know, if you want to save that time and pay somebody to do that, but the letters need to go out.
Okay. Thank you.
Mumtanza.
Oh, hi, Ricky. Thank you so much for the value you give us. I have two questions. The first question is, you said to mail them instead of going individually door by door, but how do I do that in Toronto, Ontario, Canada? I have no way.
You can't mail stuff in Canada?
But how do I get the email address? Oh, you're talking of postal
This is
mail.
physical email. This is physical addresses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I can get. That I
Okay.
can get. And
That's it.
the second question is, you travel a lot of the times. And you have a whole list of clients that you don't even do any prospecting right now in calling them. How do you deal with the people that want to list or sell at this time when you're traveling? Do you have people
I don't do deals anymore.
Oh, okay.
My dad does all the business now. He handles all the listings and sales, so I can do this.
Oh,
You know, you think travel. I just went to Sarasota and Vegas, and I'm in Miami next week.
Wow.
But like I'm on a Zoom call with you for 2 hours right now. I couldn't show property even though I'm home right now. Right. So, you know, we made a deal. My dad runs that side of the business and I run this side of the business. He benefits from this side and I also benefit. It's a team effort.
Perfect. It makes a lot of sense. I just wondered how you could be such a superhuman being.
Now what's funny is I used to do it all. I used to travel back up until 2022, March of 22 is when I stepped out of production. Up to that point, I had been coaching since 17, where I was traveling and I was still selling and it was still my business, but I had my assistant at the office. She kind of handled things when I was gone and stuff. And we just kind of made it work. But yeah, I actually used to do it all.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, ma'am. Edwin. I don't think that's your
Hey,
name.
Ricky.
Is that your name?
Yep, that's my name.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you're on
it's
your
my-
husband's Zoom.
No, that's my name. So I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you for this. And I came in late, so hopefully there's a replay. Also, I'd like to know what CRM you recommend. How many times should I send the letters out, or maybe it's all in the video you're going to send us, and also not AI, but I kept seeing something about TC, like I guess like a assistant, virtual assistant. Like where would you recommend? I hear a Pfizer or Fiverr, but how do you know who to go with?
Fiverr would be somewhere to find an editor for videos. As far as the TC goes, don't ask me. I don't know. I hire local people when I want an assistant, somebody that I can see and works in my office. So I don't do virtual assistants myself. So I'm not the best to answer that question. On the letters, you're sending these out one time and following up with the phone call. And what was the first question?
I would just like a replay of the video so I can try to recap.
Oh
and
yeah,
catch up.
yeah. I'll have this out hopefully by Sunday. It'll be on you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It'll be on YouTube, but I'll email and text it out as well. Beth.
Hey, Ricky, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, I just started a new thing with, I want to know if you think it's a good idea. I went through all my contacts, updated all their information, and then I'm sending their RPR home value. Do you think that's a good idea?
RPR RBR, what's that?
RPR.
What's
So
that?
it's like on my mind board, I can go in there and type in an address and it'll say, like we sent it to our son for, my husband's a lender. We sent it to our son and said, hey, this is what your house worth. He's like, wait, my house is worth that much in a year and a half. So it got a conversation started.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's
Listen.
worth the time?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what I think. Okay.
Right.
What matters is what works for you.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is that there's not a single strategy that I've ever heard where somebody hasn't made $1 million off of it. You know, like, okay, put in the comments right now, what is the dumbest lead gen you've ever heard of? Right? Everybody, like, what's the dumbest thing you've ever heard as far as lead gen goes? Right? I guarantee you the dumbest stuff that you've ever heard, there are people that have actually made $1 million. The whole dropping something at Walmart works. Facebook lead generation. Yeah, that's the dumbest ever. Like, you know how many people have made millions off of Facebook lead generation? And even Tinder. People have actually sold properties off Tinder. Straight up. Ugly yellow signs. Yeah. Like TikTok dances. You want to say people have made $1 million doing that? I know people that have made $1 million doing that.
Sure.
The brownie drop off thing. Let's see. I mean, the list goes on. There's not a single thing. So nobody's here to say, right, that what's right or wrong. I'm not here to tell you that's a smart idea, not a smart idea. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure.
What you have to do is say, if you feel strongly that sending that is going to spark a conversation, then it's called testing. You send it out to 500 people and you see the results. You like the results, you like the ROI, you like the listings you got, you like the money you made off the investment, you do it again. You don't like it, you try something else, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you real quick. While we're on this video, I just got a text from a friend who I reached out to a year ago, and she just said, hey, can you come over tomorrow when I'm ready to list the condo? So thank you. That's an encouragement to get back on that sphere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kadir.
Hey, Ricky, thank you for
Hey,
all
man.
your help.
What's your question?
Question is, we have the mails and the expires, and I know you're very hard on the circle prospecting. I'm in Miami, so the for sale by owners, they're kind of tricky down here. Is it possible to switch the for sale by owner with the circle prospecting?
Yeah, sure, man. But I think there's a deeper issue with thinking the for sale by owners are tricky. I think you're running away from a problem there.
I tried, but the numbers that they won, I think it's kind of a waste of time to.
You're not getting the right
$700,000.
numbers.
They want a lot of money for a property that is not worth that amount.
That's
so,
every for sale by owner, bro. That's
Yeah.
every for sale by owner, right? So it's like, why are they selling? Can we stay in touch with them until they throw the flag in, the white towel, to allow an agent to take over, right? Can you hang in there long enough into the relationship to when they're ready to list? You're just not approaching it right. You need to go to Shane's Zoom Rooms, shaneszoomroom.com.
Yeah,
Just go
listening
there.
to your videos, I had more success doing circle prospecting.
Okay, well then
I sold the property in your neighborhood, blah 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 blah
Kadir,
blah blah.
Kadir, do circle prospecting then. I'm not going to tell you what to do, man. I am going to say do 1,000 letters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Doing it.
you like the expired deal? You like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you're going to do that. Now do geo leads. Go get 30 listings.
Okay, perfect.
Bill.
Hey, Ricky. Thank you. Quick comment. Thank you for the Facebook group. I'm pending for like 2 weeks now.
Let's see. Pending for 2 weeks on the Facebook group. Let's see what you got going on, bud. Let's see what you got going on, bud. Let's see. Request. Let's see. Search by name. Let's see. Where are you at, old Billy boy? Bill. Looks like you requested 3 days ago.
Okay.
I see you on here. Looks like you requested 3 days ago. So, bear with us, guys. We get flooded, and we do want to get you in. So, we'll try to do better with that.
Okay, no worries.
But I got you coming in here today. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Along with
And
anybody else that tried to join. Go ahead.
thoughts about do not call.
They're the greatest leads I've ever found.
That's what I thought.
They're the highest quality phone numbers. They're the nicest people, and they do the most business.
That's what I thought.
Diana.
Hi there. So quick question. Well, two questions. Do the yellow letters have to be written by hand, or can they be like, can I just order them?
No, got to be write them out by hand. Get your sister to do them.
Oh, okay. And my next question is, how do you handle, like, I just noticed when I'm making calls, I get spammed very often. Like, is
Spam?
there?
What do you mean
Yeah,
spam?
when I'm dialing. So I
Like your
do
number
triple
gets
and
marked
dial-
as spam?
Right.
Are you using RedX?
I'm using Mojo.
Okay, they don't
And I'm
give you
switching my numbers, but they get spammed like way too
Diana.
often. Like,
Diana,
Mhm.
let me
Sure.
tell you something. Do they give you a smart number?
So I use different numbers.
Does Mojo give you a smart number?
They do. I have like 10 of them.
You need to go to RedX because they give you one and they get it verified. See, I'm guessing what Mojo does is they don't actually verify the number and do what they need to do to try to certify it. Because RedX actually gives you a certified smart number and it doesn't get marked as spam.
Okay.
So
it
maybe
needs
you
to be
could get your own smart number and get it certified on your own outside of Mojo or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Is it? Well, I don't know. Your name's not there. So 954-593-1255. Don't know your
Hi,
name.
that's me, Carmen. How are
Hey, Carmen.
you?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I wanted to know, how do you have the for sale by owners and expires? How do you convince them to give their email versus staying in contact via text and phone?
Well, I asked them if it's okay to stay in touch. Once I've had this great conversation with them, I found out what they want to do, why they want to do it, when they want to do it, if they have an agent they're going to work with. And I've went down the rabbit hole with what's going on in their life behind making the decision to possibly buy or sell something, right? So I've done all that, and now they love me. I love them. We're family. And I say, hey, we need to stay in touch. Is that okay if we do that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. What's a good email for you?
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
Well, where were you? Okay, you heard my process. Where were you going wrong in the process?
I mean, I honestly use RedX, and I've been using it for about, I would say, 5 months. And I circle prospect, I do the for sale by owners and expires. And within that time, I have 900 people that have agreed to stay in contact with me. But they're only like, I think I'm saying something wrong, because they're like, no, I'm okay on the email. You can stay in contact with me via text.
Yeah.
But they're not
Yep.
willing to give an email. I'll
My
send
que-
over my card.
But Candace, you heard my process, right?
Yes.
Okay, of like going really deep, having this very, great conversation, deep, not surface level, deep. Are you not going deep? Are you not really
I'm
planting
taking it
some
there.
roots?
Like, I'm taking it there. When they text me, like, hey, I want you to list my home, that's when they give me the emails. I mean, I get listings from it, but off the bat, they don't just give
I
me their
think maybe
emails.
you're asking for it too soon. I think maybe you see you have to get to a place where there's total comfort. And maybe you're not going, deep enough, long enough to build that rapport quick enough before you ask for the email.
Okay.
You know?
I'm not doing that. I'm not like, I'm kind of like setting myself up. Okay, I'm gonna try to aim for 2-3 minutes each call. So I'm kind of like
No,
rushing
hey,
into it.
absolutely not. Are you kidding me? That's a horrible approach. If somebody wants to talk for 30 minutes, by God, I'm gonna talk to them for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
The more time I've wasted on people, the more money I've made. And guess what? That statement is proven to be so true right now with what you're telling me. Because you're trying to hurry up and get off the phone with people so you can make more calls. And guess what? You're losing everybody you're talking to because of that. If you would spend more time with them, they would give you the email address and you would do more business. Therefore, the more time you spent with people, wasted on people, the more money you make.
Okay, makes sense.
Spend time with people. That's what they want. They don't want to hit and run. They don't want to hit it and forget it.
Okay.
They want somebody that they want the one. They're looking for marriage. Right? They want you to come in there and be their agent and know that you got their back, not just trying to treat them like another number. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
Thank you.
why you're not getting it. Lucas.
Okay.
Hey Ricky, so getting the listings, putting on my MLS, I usually do some type of other marketing to them, but I have 3 right now that are they're all priced right. I've run the numbers. How do you, I guess, what do you tell a seller other than, hey, like we're priced right? How do you go about
Why are
updating
you
your
saying
selling?
you're priced right if it's not selling? That's not that's like a, what do you guys, is that an oxymoron? I don't know the words and stuff, but that sounds very contradictive. We're priced right. We just ain't getting no offers. It's like, well, no the hell it's not priced right, or we'd be getting offers. Okay. So right there, you sound very unprofessional. If you're telling me, oh, it's priced right, but we're just not getting any showings, that's telling me you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
When properties are on the market for a little while, you now have new data. I'll give you an example, Lucas. An agent I know, right here locally, they're part of my group. They listed a property and I helped them price it. You know, I said it needed to be priced at $599. The sellers opted for $615. We had a few showings, nothing serious, no offers. It's been a couple months, maybe 3 or 4 months now. They lowered it to $609, they lowered it to $605, and now we're at $599. Since the house has went on the market, at the time when we listed it, there were only 2 houses that were newer and bigger that were like 900,000. So we thought 600 would be perfect, especially with no inventory. Well, since then, 2 houses about the same age, bigger houses, sold for $250 a foot. Okay, which brings this house down to about $512. Right now we're at $599. And then another home, a little bigger and newer, went under contract in 2 weeks for $450. And the seller's like, why are we not getting offers? Why are we not getting offers? Well, the thing is, Lucas, is that if we would have had the data of these sales when we listed it, we wouldn't have listed it at 600. We'd have listed it at 550. But we didn't have that information at the time. You see, guys, when you put a listing out there, 2 things happen. You get market data from the listing itself, how long it's been out there, how many offers you've gotten, what the feedback is, and you get more market data of everything that happens around the listing while it's listed. And you pay attention to both. And you go back to the seller and you paint the picture. The data doesn't lie. The market doesn't lie. You paint this new picture. This is where we thought it was. This is where we figured it was a good price. This is what needs to be said. Like, not, it's priced right. I don't know why I didn't sell it. It needs to be like, we thought it was priced right. Right? We thought it was priced right, but now we know it's not priced right. So what do you want to do now that we know the facts? Right?
Gotcha. Thank you.
Whatever you want to do, I'm going to go to war for you. That's it. Jamie.
Hey, Ricky, thanks for doing this.
Mhm.
So right now in my business, I've been doing open houses and client events, and I just wanted to hear if you did those things when you first started and what your experience was
I
like.
didn't do any client events. I'm pretty what do you call it? Introverted. Like, I don't do networking and stuff like that. I'm just not in that kind of stuff. And then I did a few open houses because like I figured I could get some buyers, which I never did. And then I would do open houses over the years just for my sellers who wanted open houses done. And I would just basically do them for them. So I was never big on it. I could sit in the office and like, call 100 people instead of doing open houses and stuff, and the client appreciation. But this goes back to exactly what I just said. All right. I know people, and Sharon saying it, that have made millions off of just open houses. That's all they do. That's all they do. They don't do postcards or nothing, phone calls, nothing. They do open houses. They get their clients there. They follow up with the clients. They sell properties. They made millions. I did the same thing, Sharon. I made calls at, I love you. I made calls at the open houses when I did them. And then, what was the other thing? Client appreciation parties. Dude, I know people that made a lot of money off that because they're just deepening in the relationships. So again, guys, everything works. Got to figure out what works for you and really dial in on that one or two things that really work well.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think I'm in the process of trying to figure out what works for me because I've done so many open houses and haven't gotten anything out of it. So
yeah,
maybe I need to shift my focus to something else.
Hey, when I realized that every lead gen activity comes right back to calling a list of people, like Facebook leads, you create a list of people to sit down and call a list. Open houses, you got a sign in sheet. The next day you call that list. Zillow leads, call the list. Cold calls, you call the list. Sphere of influence, call the list. Whatever. Tell me a lead gen activity that you do that doesn't create a list of people that you're going to sit down and call the list. Nothing. So when I realized that, like if you have a business, like if you're Ryan Serhant, if you're Ricky Caruth, if you got all this business coming in, of course you don't have to do those things. But when you're new, starting out, everything is list to call, a list of people to call, a list of people to call, right? And when I realized that, I was like, well, if it's just about sitting down calling a list of people, why am I not just calling the property owners, that already own the property, see if they want to buy or sell anything? It's the most efficient way to go. It's a hack. This is a hack. You're going around all the activities all these people do to come right back to just calling a list of people. And instead of doing all those activities, spend all that time, money, and energy, you just get the list now of the highest quality prospects and you just call the list. Instead of doing all this stuff to call the list, you just forget all that stuff to call the list. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay, now you can hear me. Basically staging. I'm finding out that if you're not staging, you're not getting the price. Your days on market are longer and you don't get the price that you want for your sellers.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you recommend on how to price that into the property?
I never staged a single property.
So you had empty houses?
If it was empty, yeah, I sold empty houses.
So in this market, do you feel like that also applies? Because days on market is longer. And
days on market aren't longer because it's not staged. Days on market are longer because interest rates are 7.5%.
Right. So it makes it more marketable.
Well, there's more inventory, but we're still low. No, for me, again, Terry, what I do and how I operate is going to be different than how you operate. You may live in a world where you want these houses to be staged. I live in a world, okay, this is just me. This is not right or wrong. I don't care about that because why? It's going to cost my seller money that I don't want them to spend and time off the market to get it staged. I want the property on the market now for whatever the price would have been staged minus what it costs to stage. I'm going to get it on there for a lower price, money that we don't have to spend because we're going to have to add to the price to take care of the staging cost. I want to get it at a price that I can sell it for as is and get it on the market now so I can move on to the next deal and the next deal and the next deal and not cause a bunch of work for myself because I'm probably the one that has to show up to make sure it's staged right and deal with the stagers. And while I could be getting more listings and being more efficient. So I'm just like a super efficiency, junkie where for me, things like that, or telling somebody, oh, let's remodel the kitchen. I'm not going to say that ever. You'll never hear me say that. If it's a specific seller that's just like, I don't care, I'd rather, redo this and see if we can get more, great, if that's what he wants to do. But I'm not going to walk in, saying, oh, you should do this, you should paint, you should do a new roof, you should do all this stuff, and we'll stage. No. Now I got to wait on all that stuff to be done. Those owners going to be fighting with the contractors because they didn't do the job right. And it's a mess. And all because now we have a mess on our hands because of what I suggested. Absolutely not. No. The buyer wants to come in here. They want to see these open rooms. They want to visualize how this thing's going to lay out with their furniture. Let me get on the market for the lowest price I can to compensate for it not being staged and get it sold now, because that's probably what the seller wants. It comes back to the seller. Do they, listen, guys, it's not all about price sometimes. Some of these people want convenience. They want it gone. We're thinking, oh, get the highest price, represent them to the highest ability, when they're like, quit fucking around, sell my property now. And we're worried about getting them the best dollar, when they're like, I don't care about getting every little penny, I need it gone. I think that's something that we miss a lot as agents.
Okay, so Ricky, I sold them a house, then it was vacant. And when it became vacant, it needs a lot of stuff happening with it. So I found a live-in stager within 2 days. It's been off the market for 7. I staged it, or I had it staged. It's not costing them a penny. They are going to get the number that they want. And I am adding value to them. Plus, they're going to maintenance the property because it is vacant. And they didn't take care of the yard. They didn't do flowers. So basically, this stager is doing all the things to bring some beauty to the property.
Yeah. And like I said, that is awesome. That's the way you should do it. That's what you feel like that's great service to them. They loved it. The stager's taking care of it. It's perfect.
Okay.
So what's the question?
My question is should I build in the fee? That one, there's not going to be a fee. But would you build in the fee to the price?
What fee?
Or would you have it just a separate fee?
Why are we building in a fee that's not there?
Fee. That's not there. But I mean, a next one, if it turns out that and staging, and the least amount is $1,800, would you do it apart from the commission, or would you include it in the commission?
No, I would tell the seller to pay it outside. Listen, Terry, I would try to distance myself from the situation, hook the seller up with the stager, have them pay the stager outside of the deal.
Okay.
Get me as the agent out of there. Listen, Terry, something goes wrong here. The seller gets mad at the stager. You brought the stager. The stager's fees included in your commission and stuff. That is a mess waiting to happen, girl.
Okay.
That you're just setting yourself up for some serious a mess where everybody's mad at each other. Now the money's involved. Like, that's why I don't even want to get involved in it, because the stager does a great deal on this job. The next job, they do a horrible deal. And now this $1.2 million house is in shambles because when they move the furniture in, they scraped up all the paint. They won't answer their call. Like, I've had it happen. I'm speaking from experience. Contractors that did amazing work. And then I sent them to another client, 10 clients in, amazing work the first 9, the 10th one, it was an absolute disaster. The client hated me at the end of the deal. And I was like, I'm never going to refer anybody ever again, because I don't want to be in the middle of all this.
Gotcha. Good point.
It will become a mess sooner or later, and you need to distance yourself. Jeffrey.
Hi, Ricky. Yes.
I literally have like 30 seconds per person here. Literally.
No problem. Really quick. I'd like to know, like, when would you do the price reduction? You wait until when? Then we'll consider to ask the owner to do the price reduction.
When to reduce a price on a listing?
Yeah.
When the seller wants to.
Okay.
This seller is going to want to never reduce. The next seller is going to want to reduce quick. The next seller is going to want to give it 2 more weeks and then think about reducing. How much to reduce depends on how much they're willing to reduce. Depends on the data of the market of the actual listing and the data around the specific listing and the new market information and data we get from the market around the listing, subdivisions and
Yes.
streets of what happens while the listing is there. We got to compile all that, take it to the seller and say, look, this is where we at. What do you want to do? Well, what do you think we should do? Well, this is since you're asking, this is what I think we should do. What do you want to do? It's your property. I'm ready to go to war. T-Dask.
Thank you.
To Dast. Roger Weaver.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go. What you got?
I was trying to unmute. Hi, I thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. I literally found your program yesterday evening and I stayed up to 2 o'clock listening to you. So you're absolutely amazing. I'm a new
Wow.
agent, just started a month ago. So I'm super excited with all the ideas that you have. My question is, I am in New York and I cannot cold call. I can get fined up to $20,000. You know, is there any way that I can incorporate all these great ideas?
Of course you can. Of course you can. So number one, if you know anybody that's been fined $20,000?
Well, my broker just said someone was just charged.
Yeah. So have you read the rules of the calls in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, some of it, yes.
Well, you need to read all of it. This pertains to your job and getting fined $20,000.
Mhm.
Did you see any loopholes? Gray areas?
No, I'm so new to it. I wouldn't even know if
Yeah.
there's a loophole.
So I've got agents there, and from what they tell me, there's a lot of gray areas with if you have a buyer, you can call. And I'm sure there's a lot more of them, right? But did you hear the letter strategy?
Yes.
Okay, focus on doing 1,000 letters and let them call you.
Okay. That's
Roger Reaver. I'm sorry to cut you short, T-Das. I got a kid over here and I'm knee deep in family. All right, Roger's on the phone. All right, cool. We'll give Roger just a second. Give my last minute thoughts here. Love you guys. Let's see. Okay, Miami next week. And then I will put out and we'll do another call the week after. I'll be in town that week of the 23rd. So Monday on the 23rd, I'll probably the same time. I like this time, 4 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. It gives me 2 hours with you guys to do a training session and do a lot of Q&A. 3 to 5 my time. So let me just put that down. 4 to 6 Eastern on the 26th. That's what I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. And listen, all I got to say is, again, just to repeat, people that came on towards the end, if you haven't done the letters, it's okay. If you haven't made the calls yet, it's okay. Start now, though. Don't come to the next one and like, again, not have done anything. Right. Because if you're just in this pattern where you just never do anything, then how do you ever think you're going to accomplish anything? All right. Focus on real estate. Try not to get distracted with other things. Really focus on what's going to get you that $1 million, and then focus on diversifying your verticals between having 7 different streams of income. You do that after you become a millionaire, guys. Okay. All right. I think I've said enough. I'll see you guys in Miami next week. If you need something, DM me on Instagram. I'm still answering all of those. And crush it for the next couple weeks. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Very soon.